What's up guys, Tyler back here for another video. For those of you who don't know, I make automotive content here on this channel. And if you haven't already, go ahead, subscribe and follow me on Instagram. You won't be disappointed. So let's just jump right into today's video. The Watt Box. I blew my eardrum. Today what we're going to be installing is an N2MB Watt Box 2-step, and it's going to be freaking awesome. The Watt Box review. This is a long time coming. For those of you who are watching this video, I've probably seen one other video of mine, which is how to make your car shoot flames. I had done this video at the very beginning of my channel. It's probably not even 10 videos in. It was terrible quality, it was a poor instruction, and it was a horrible explanation. So let's dive into everything about this Watt Box, because that video got 1 million views and tons and tons and tons of people have hit me up to do it, and I've since then seen a ton of people do it as well. So let's jump into 3 things for those of you who are curious and just getting into this. What is a Watt Box and what does it do? 2, should you get a Watt Box? And 3, is it harmful? I guess we can lump these 2 together, but is it harmful for your engine or your motor? However you want to say it. By no means is this video sponsored by N2MB, nor was the video that I made. I actually hit them up to work with them and they said no. First things first, what is a Watt Box? A Watt Box is something that you install into your car that intercepts your ignition and a signal from your fuel to create launch control. So it grabs a signal from your RPM, and at a specific RPM range that you set, let's say 3000 RPM, it will create an ignition cut there at 3000, so you can balance your RPM and it will stay there, so that as soon as you dump your clutch, you can launch from 3000 RPM or your ideal RPMs that you'd like to race from, giving you launch control. Is this the most efficient way to get launch control? Absolutely not. Most of the time people tune for it, but if you don't have an ECU or don't have a tune whatsoever and you just want to do something like this, sometimes people do use this, like in older cars. If you don't really have, like I said, an ECU to tune, they have like MSD forms of this, which are like really much better than this stupid Watt Box. This lady's getting her car next to me and thinks that I'm an idiot. Why did I install this Watt Box? I installed this Watt Box because I knew that this was an ignition cut launch control system, meaning it would stop the ignition from happening. While it was doing that, it was still gonna pour fuel into my exhaust. So as soon as that ignition comes back on or hits my exhaust when it's hot enough, it will ignite it and create a huge explosion, essentially, you know, giving you that 2-step anti-lag type of deal. Now when you're creating that back pressure and those fire and everything, what that's really supposed to do is create boost for you so you can launch with boost, which is why it's called like launch control or anti-lag. But this does not do that. This does not build boost. The fire is just a party trick. And that's essentially what I had installed this for, was because I knew it was going to get views, and I knew when I went to shows it was going to be a hot thing, because it was just on the cusp when everybody started to do launch control and 2-step, or it started to be big where I was, and that's kind of like why I did it. Now that we've kind of gone over like the most basic form of what the Watt Box is and what it does, should you get one and should you install one in your car? This is a really hard question. If you, I'm not gonna say don't care about your car, but if you, let's just say it, it's the biggest ricer mod out there. You're essentially getting this Watt Box just to shoot flames. That's exactly what everybody gets it for. And if you want to do that and you're accepting the possibilities that that comes with, then definitely go for it. If not, don't do it. I know that wasn't the best answer, but that's the honest thing. If you really just want to get it for a party trick to shoot flames and impress your friends and be an idiot going around at meets shooting flames and be that cool guy, air quotations, go for it. If not, tune your car. Now, the third thing we're gonna go over, is this harmful to your engine? What are the possibilities? So obviously, it goes without saying, abusing your car, driving it hard, and keeping it high in the RPM range is gonna significantly like impact the life of your motor. If you were to just drive your car from point A to point B, getting it back and forth to work every day, and you never drive this thing hard, obviously it's gonna live a lot longer than if you spiritedly drive your car. That kind of goes hand in hand with the watt box. Obviously you're going to do launch control and you're going to bounce it off a specific RPM, and usually to shoot flames it's pretty high. You're probably going to set your RPMs around 4,000, 3,000 RPMs, and you're just going to mash the gas and bounce it off the rev limiter that you're creating to create fire. Now, the fire that it is creating is not specifically harmful to your engine because it is just the excess fuel. And the ignition cut itself technically isn't harmful either to your engine, your motor, but you're going to be abusing it. You're going to be bouncing it off an RPM. You're going to be, keeping it high in the RPM range and treating it like crap. So the things that it's doing, your car will naturally do by itself with the ECU to try and save the car. If it has too much fuel, too little fuel, too much air, it will create these cuts to keep it safe. So the ignition cut itself isn't bad. But, like I said, when you bounce it off an RPM and continuously do that, obviously it's going to increase the percentage that your motor has to fail. And the more that you do it and the more that you use it, the more likely it is that it's going to blow up, right? So the more that you race your car and the more that you push it to redline, the more likely it is that it's going to blow up, right? Me specifically, I never blew up my motor from doing this, but I do know there's a whole bunch of people who have because they abused it. I'm not saying I didn't do it a lot, I just always treated my car in every other sense the best that I could. Like, I always did a full synthetic oil change at 3,000 miles regardless. No matter what, I always do that, always have, and I always will, just because I want to keep it safe. Just things like that I do to increase the chance that it will live in the high abuse that it sees. So overall, we went over what the watt box is. It's an ignition cut launch control. Technically, does it really do anything? Not really. Should you get one? You should only get one if you accept the possibility that you might, one, blow your motor, and two, that it doesn't do anything and you might be called a ricer, because it is. And three, is it harmful for your motor? I'm just gonna say yes. Yes, it is. Anything like racing and driving your car hard and abusing it is, so yeah, it is harmful for your motor. I just wanted to clear this up because I probably should have done this a long time ago. I went into that video knowing these things, and I should have explained that for everybody, but like I said, I was relatively new to making videos and everything like that. So, yeah. Now, I hope this provided some clarity or insight to those of you who are on the fence about getting a watt box, for those of you who are curious of what it is, and or who want to criticize me as to why I did it. That's okay, and as an FYI, since then my car has been built. I have a top mount GT35R turbo on a Heltec ECU running ethanol and all sorts of crazy stuff. Makes 450 wheel horsepower, and yes, it still does shoot flames, but it has an actual proper anti-lag. And do I do it? No, even when people ask me, because I'm kind of over that whole scene. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, I hope I could help some of you guys out there, and if you guys haven't already subscribed to this channel, go ahead and do so. Follow me on Instagram, all that jazz. You will not be disappointed, and there are more videos to come, and I will catch you guys in the next video. I'm out.